Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to talk about the concept of optimizing your time in a very broad sense and how to maximize your well-being so that you're ultimately building and living a better life simultaneously. I've just sort of started on a path of treating productivity as a lifestyle or as a tenet, and I've seen sort of dramatic changes it can make to your outlook and your general take on life, and I wanted to share some of my thoughts with you. So first off, let's talk about sort of finding happiness in your everyday life. I recently read the book Flow, The Psychology of Happiness by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and it made me think about how one would go about making changes in their everyday life in order to become happier in general. So flow is the mental state you're in when you're in the zone. So it's that point where you're completely focused, you're just captivated on what you're doing. Your world just sort of narrows to what it is that fascinates you in that one moment of time, and it's every single every single brain cell is just committed to solving this problem in front of you. Flow is generally achieved when you're sort of facing a challenge that's near too easy, so you're not sort of bored by it. It's not too difficult, so you're not put off by it. It's just right for you, and it happens when you're doing a task that you find some meaning in accomplishing, perhaps something worthwhile. It's at this point that Csikszentmihalyi proposes that you're at your most content, and it's the most sort of genuinely happy you can possibly be. And it's in this growth that you find the meaning in life, which I think is very true. It's very, very profound, I guess, where you are just so concentrated on this one topic that all your other sort of day-to-day problems, they just vanish by the wayside. You're just living in the present, and that's when you feel the most. You just feel the most alive because you're just living, So something I found really insightful in the book was the concept of people not being happy at work, but happiness at work is a choice, and a lot of people are not happy because they don't look for ways to be engaged or challenged while they're at work. I don't know how many times I've heard this, but sort of the quotes: "The best jobs are the ones you don't feel like you're at work when you're doing them," and there's a lot of truth to that. The problem is with what people dream about doing. I don't know if that's chasing sloths in the Amazon or the sort of being the next big star. It's not your dreams that are the problem. It's just there isn't enough room for everyone to do that job. These are your S tier jobs that are gonna thrill people the most while they're doing them. But even if you're pursuing your dream every minute of the day, you're just hell bent towards getting your dream job. It's probably going to take a while, and you're going to have to show a lot of dedication in order to get to that point. And along the way, you're going to have to take a less than ideal job just to make ends meet, until you get to that point where you can sort of progress towards what it is you really want to do. The way I see it, from my own experience, the key to finding happiness at work is to not see your time there as worthless or as a chore. And it was very easy to do that. And you're just sort of watching the clock, and you're saying, right, been here an hour, got 7 hours to go. It's like 14 half hours, 20 quarters of an hour. It's just like, obviously you're not really enjoying yourself if you're doing that. But ultimately, happiness, if it comes from within, it's how you perceive things that determines your reality, really. And if you sort of you set your mind while you're at work to sort of find challenges and ways to work on yourself, it allows you to just become a lot more enriched with yourself and with your job, because now you're associating it with a place where you can grow and work on yourself. It's just simple things like timing yourself, see how quickly you can get somebody's order, or seeing how many things you can pack in a day, or just trying to be nicer to the customers. It's little things that sort of make the day go faster. But if you commit yourself to those acts each day and every day with a set goal of improving, then that's when you're gonna feel a lot more engaged when you're at work. And I guess this is essentially stoicism. You're just making the best of what you've got, but instead of looking at it as the best of what's handed to you, you're making It's a lot more about not seeing it as a bad thing that you just need to get on with, but seeing it as a good thing, which will allow you to become stronger and progress in life. But most people, they don't see it that way, unfortunately. And what's even worse than that, and the thing that I just don't understand at all, is that when you get off the clock, you're finally done, you get home, you do all your chores, and you sit down. What do you usually do? Usually you watch the TV. And it's just, people just waste their time off work, they just waste their leisure time, and they just don't accomplish anything. And then 12 hours later, you're back at work, and you wish you were at home again, even though you weren't really doing anything. And it just goes on, and people I feel they just become sort of trapped in sort of purgatory for years, just slowly just degrading one day at a time. I mean, I've done it myself. I've wasted plenty of hours after work. You just sit on the sofa, you just play video games or TV, and I mean, it's not even that you really especially care about it. It's just I'm off work and I'm enjoying myself. I'm gonna watch trash, and you just slowly just decompose and just meld with the sofa, and you just sort of just tick things off your watch list. And it's just, that's not to say there's nothing of worth you can glean from TV or Netflix at all, and there's plenty of really interesting shows that have sort of blown my mind away. If what you find out if what you get out of life is just you're completely satisfied with just sort of being a TV buff, you love sort of people in your knowledge, and that's absolutely what you want to do till the day you die, so you thought through all the options, and don't let me stop you. From my point of view, it's by not doing enough with your leisure time, or just consuming media as your default leisure time, you just fall into bad habits, and you're just restricted by what's available at any time. So back in the olden days, you only had 6 channels, the good old days. If it's trash on all 6 of the channels, then you're screwed. Tying yourself to this medium or this lifestyle, just in order to keep up with the big show of the week, or you just bring up the game, just to have something to talk about. I just feel you're just limiting yourself in terms of just your ability to grow or just to develop as a person. If you're not even really thinking about what you're watching, if you're just very, very passive, you're just going to slip into autopilot mode in every part of your life, and then you're just going to go along with whatever's presented to you. You're just going to have no critical thinking whatsoever, and I think that's personally a horrible way to live your life. So back to Cheek Sent Me High. He hypothesizes that your mind, like everything else in the universe, is subject to entropy. If you don't work out, your muscles decay. You just turn to mush. And the same is definitely true for your brain. It's the act of sort of conscious thought, and of really center yourself in your present, just trying to articulate your ideas. It helps to bring order to your mind. Flow is sort of the point of maximum ordering. Your whole mind just comes together in order to harness, sort of wring every last drop of creativity from your brain into your project. That's when it's most ordered. That's when that's when you're in the zone, isn't it? So when you watch TV, it's sort of it tricks your brain into thinking it's doing something worthwhile when you're really not. So let me explain that. So when you watch something on TV, it's designed by people. So it's designed by them to keep you interested, keep you watching for as long as possible. So I guess so they make money. So this results in the content having an order to it, because somebody sort of put effort into crafting a narrative that you're invested in, that you want to follow. But your brain sees this order, but because it's sort of pre-packaged, you're able to process it in a very passive state. And it allows your brain to be disordered because the order is already pre-packaged, and you don't have to expend any mental energy in order to sort of obtain pleasure from it. It's just direct to your brain. So over time, your brain is it's inevitably going to slowly atrophy, and the cobwebs are going to set in, and it makes it a lot harder to get into flow states because your mind's a lot weaker, sort of a lot softer. And it's not used to having to sort of intensely focus and concentrate on something like when you're trying to get into flow. So I guess the reason that this sort of thinking this way has been on my mind because I might mention at the start. So I've recently made quite a big lifestyle change where I've just almost completely given up the TV, and I'm just trying to spend as much of my day being productive as I possibly can. It's not even like trying to force myself not to do it. It's just sort of just a logical shift where it doesn't give me any entertainment anymore. So I read, I try and learn stuff. I start continually just focusing on my goals and just kind of come up with big steps and then breaking those steps down into smaller steps and just how to achieve them. So sort of one thing at a time, slowly building up one day at a time. I've got to say that even just my mind is in just so much better shape than it was, and I'm just a lot clearer, a lot more articulate with my thoughts. And it's just, I've never felt better, to be honest. So, the problem with not seeking to sort of, I guess, improve your life when you're at work or you're at home is that it's hard to find any meaning in your life, and you just can't find the energy to strive for anything or to improve your surroundings. Just to turn disorder into order, which I guess is the big struggle in life. I would say to sort of anyone who's watching this who lives like this and actually wants to make a change is just start today, right here, just now. So I don't care if you're watching this and it's late. You just write out a schedule for how you're going to live tomorrow, and it's going to be the most productive day of your life. But just you make the change today. You just start reading for at least an hour a day. It's going to that's just an example. There's so much more stuff you can do, and then once you just refashion your life to be 100% productive, things start linking into each other, so then it's even easier to lead them, and you just gain momentum. You're just like a snowball going down a hill. Just if you're driven and you want to see yourself grow, if it's just your life, or I mean, if you're just desperate to get away from who you are right now, you will find that energy, and you will find time in the day to sort of craft yourself into a better person than you were yesterday. But I guess the issue is, I mean, I can shout at you till I'm blue in the face, but it is a very sort of internal decision, and I mean, I did it myself before that I sort of made a change. You just watch all these motivation videos and you're agreeing with it, but it just doesn't click. It just doesn't register in that deep sense. So hopefully it's going to happen to you at some point in your life if you're resonating with this. But when it does, just don't feel annoyed that it's just taking that long. Just don't. The past is gone already. Just your life begins again today. Today is the first day of the rest of your life, and it's your duty more than anything to just get out there and spend your time wisely. So I think that's all I'm going to say in this topic today. But I'm definitely going to come back to it in the future because there's just so many aspects to living your life this way. There's sort of there's knock-on effects and ramifications that I'd really like to get into. If you have any opinions on anything I said, please comment it below, because I would really like to hear different people's takes on this and how they feel about just giving yourself over entirely to just productivity and just trying to pursue a life of sort of more worthwhile enjoyment as possible. So I think I'm gonna leave it there, and see you next time.